processes that I write in our company have 3 key factors at the top of those processes. That is who, why, and execute. In other words, who does this process involve? Why does this process exist? And what happens when this process is properly executed? Okay? So
give me an example, buddy.
For instance, I'm looking at one right now. I pulled up, so our process manual, we run it through Google Drive. Everybody in our company gets a Google Drive email address.
Oh, so they have access to
So they have access to our process manual. I have a process for how to change the role of TP in the shop.
Are you bringing this up again? I was looking for a good one.
Yeah, well, this is a good one. Who? All employees and field plumbers. Why? How we do one thing is how we do everything. So, again, literally turn frustration into process. Anytime I find myself frustrated in the company, I make a process. Or I find out who broke the process and I hold them accountable, right? I got tired of showing up at my shop and the TP rolls are empty and there's other TP rolls like stacked on top of it. Nobody's changing the TP rolls, no nothing. And it's
That's just lazy.
It's just lazy. And it's like,
lazy.
man, if we can't even change the TP roll in our own shop where we shit, what are we doing in the customers' houses?
Where we shit.
Right.
Oh my God.
And so
I love you, man.
I wrote a process, right? I found myself frustrated. I wrote a process. Who? All employees. Why? Because how we do one thing is how we do everything. If we can't take care of our own TP roll in our own bathroom, how the heck are we going to take care of other customers' bathrooms, right? Execute. In other words, what happens when this is properly executed? Taking care of our own bathrooms means that we will also take exceptional care of the customer's home. So I go step by step of learning when to recognize the roll needs to be changed. And I even have a picture of an empty roll on there, right?
What a dick.
And then I've got like step-by-step instructions for how to get the roll off of the commercial TP dispenser and how to put the new one on. And I've even got a graphic that shows when the TP comes over the top, it is correct. When the TP comes under the bottom, it is wrong. When you set the new TP roll on the empty holder, it is lazy. And when you leave the empty core on there with half a square left on there, you're a jerk. That's in my process.
First off, if there's one square left, it's not empty. You are a dick.
Are you using one square?
You are a dick.
If there ain't enough left for the next person to get a good wipe,
but it's not.
It's empty.
Well, and I don't mind the mullet. I don't mind the roll coming off the back. Like the roll off the front's the beard, the roll off the back's the mullet. Like,
well, then, like, after we implement it, we have, like, you still have
Mitch
that.
hates it. What, it's got to come off the front.
You have that kind of bickering of, like, oh, like, what are you going to do? Like, fire us or something like that? Just like, come on. Like,
right.
It's not like a, you know.
Right. So
do you have a camera outside of the door?
He has one pointing up from the toilet. A butthole cam.
Yeah.
Butthole cam.
Judging by that butthole, David was the last person to use this.
I don't have a key. I wish I did. I'd be in there all the time fucking with stuff.
You'd be doing that, like going in and being like, you're the one that's leaving the toilet paper empty.
Yeah.
I just steal full rolls and put empty ones on
there. You go.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I've got processes for how to operate a service call from the field, how to handle an upset customer from the field. These are all my field plumber processes. How to add an estimate to yourself, operating an estimate, how to add a site visit for yourself, replenishing your truck stock, ordering special order material for the job, running a labor callback, running a warranty call.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
A little off topic. It's not off topic. When you find that you're frustrated with yourself because, say, you missed an appointment. That's a bad example. Say you mishandled a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you put a process in place for yourself?
Yeah.
Or do you just, like, I always have
happened today.
For me.
Today, I dropped a ball personally myself.
Well, you're going to tell me about it in a second. Like, for me, I have a mental check, right? Like, I just, like, dude, like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, and I mind my P's and Q's pretty hard.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty hard on myself. I don't miss much. Like, so today, I misscheduled one of our new Tradewinds members. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't have it on my calendar for some reason. That is, like, extremely out of character for me.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, like, I literally looked at the calendar before that. Like, and I always know this. Like, go to the calendar before, check it, make sure,
Yep.
and then go forward, right?
Yeah.
So I always have like my own little self-evaluations that I go through on, this is going to make me sound crazy, on basically every decision I make.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have self-evaluations, self-questions all the time. I don't have like a written process.
Right.
But it intrigues me. So like what do you do?
Well,
Because you're an analytical person. We're completely opposite. So do you like have written processes for you, like when you're going through a situation that you fucked up, or what? How do you handle it?
well, and you can't go overboard on it. Like, I don't have a written
I'm
process.
overboard. That's what I'm saying. I'm insane with it.
Yeah, like I don't have a written process for how to brush my teeth, right? But I also don't get frustrated brushing my teeth, right? That's
Yeah, I
just
know.
it just happens.
No, but I was frustrated today.
Yeah.
It's like-
Well, and you have to look at it like this too. Frustration is like an ongoing anger.
well, it never
Right.
ends.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, like, if it's one of those flash in the pan things of like, oh, that sucks, but no, it's fixed. You may not need a process for that unless it happens all the time, right? So, in other words, processes are to control you and your outcomes. They're not to control external variables. And so, like, me and my outcomes in the business is anything I'm involved with in the business. I can't write a process for how customers are going to react. I guess what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, you can't.
But
That's
you
a
know,
good example of something you can't control. Yeah.
Right, right. I don't have a process for what to do when we have a flat tire, because like that doesn't happen often enough to even warrant a process.
Well, and
Guy's going to get a flat tire. He's going to call me. I'm going to tell him to go to Discount Tire. We have an account there, and he's going to get it done. Right.
well, and that's different too, because that's like it's frustrating, but it's not something that's frustrating that you can control.
It's not an ongoing frustration.
Yeah.
It's an environmental or situational frustration that's sporadic, right?
Yeah.
So again,
a
like
sporadic incident. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you misscheduling the trade winds call. That's not an ongoing thing. You couldn't process for how to schedule them, right? It's just a simple mistake that was fixed in a matter of 5 seconds. There's no point in making a process for that.
Yeah.
But
The Travis Kelce like random error kind of thing.
Well, and where I was
Talked about before.
where I was kind of going with that, and I'll let you finish your point, but like where I was going with that is those of us that those of us that are continually striving to be perfect and be great at our jobs and continually move to the next level, we are always questioning every little mistake we make, not that it eats at us, but to improve upon it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So like for me personally, I put myself under such high scrutiny because I want everything to be perfect, because I know that the more I try to do that, the more successful I'll be,
Right.
regardless of what I'm doing, right? And so when I do have something like that, it's not necessarily like a written process, but it's a mental process for me. Okay, I've made that check in my mind. Next time, I will know, hey, dude, you know to check the calendar. What are you doing?
Right.
Don't be a dipshit.
right,
And it, like literally, like you were saying, like it'll be 8 months before I fuck that up again.
right.
Right. But that's why I was asking you, because you're more of a analytical, want it written down, everything in front of me. How do I deal with it?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, well-documented processes are for groups of people.
Yes.
You can have internal processes that there's no official documentation. It's just the way you do things. Like today, I made a mistake today that caused some undue anxiety for my wife and I, right? It was a simple communication mistake. However,
And you are bad at communication sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And so,
We all got faults.
I talked about it with the wife, and we came up with a process to where I won't make that mistake again. Right?
Can I ask you what it was, or is it?
No, it
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
But it's just one of those things where,
I didn't know if it was business or personal.
yeah, it's personal stuff.
Okay, so never mind.
But it's one of
My
those
bad.
things where it's like, okay, next time I'm going to do this instead, right?
Yeah.
And the irresponsible way is, let's take that same mistake and be like, well, it doesn't matter. I don't know why you're so upset. It's not like it's going to happen that often, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm not taking into consideration anything, and I'm not showing any desire to not repeat
Well,
this problem.
you're not taking personal responsibility.
Right,
That's really what it is.
right. And so again, turn frustration into process. There was a moment where Danielle and I were frustrated, and it's because I dropped the ball on something. And so now it's like, okay, let's turn that, like, same thing, personal life, business life. Let's turn it into process. From now on, when I do this thing, I'm going to also do this thing so I don't drop that ball again.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Done.
And it's that fast, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be documented or anything else, because it's just between Danielle and I. Now, when you're trying to grow a company, it needs to be documented,
Yeah.
because now you have a whole bunch of outside people with a whole bunch of no one in there's nobody in my company that is on the same wavelength as much as Danielle and I are with each other, right?
Well,
So
yeah.
so like Danielle and I don't need a written process, right? Like we just communicate.
Yeah.
But everyone else, you got to have written processes for.
Yeah.
But it still holds the same merit. Like I made a mistake, caused frustration, we turned it into process.